Changing the switch on your Dyson DC25 is really easy until it goes really wrong. With springs and plastic flying everywhere, it can be a right nightmare. Today I'm going to show you how to fit the switches and to try and prevent these pieces of plastic from flying everywhere too. If you've already got yourself into a bit of a pickle, don't worry, I'm also going to show you how to rebuild the cover for the switches too. We've removed the bin, the handle and the hose, so they're out of the way. We're going to need a Torx T15 screwdriver to undo the 3 screws on the back that hold the housing in place. Once you've removed the screws, there's 2 clips on either side of the housing. We just need to move those outwards and then the casing will start to try and want to escape. When you're pulling the casing away from the spine, put a finger on top of each switch cover and that will stop things escaping. Inside there's 3 switches. One is the main power switch, the second is the power for the floor tool, and the third is a different switch, and that's to reset the floor tool. It doesn't matter which switch you're replacing, all of them slide out, and then you pull the connectors off and then get your new switch and put the connectors back where they came from. Then you just slide the switch back in. Now you can replace the housing, keeping your fingers on top of the switches, and as you just get to where it's nearly closed, release your fingers slightly and then it'll all push together nice and easy. Hang on a minute, that was far too easy. Let's rewind. 9 times out of 10, especially for beginners, the switch pings itself across the room when you're trying to get it off the spine. The covers fly everywhere, the springs fly everywhere. You manage to find them eventually and then you've got no idea how they go back together. I am here to save you. Get ready to pause the video because this is what the switch cover looks like inside. So if yours has fell apart, let's put it back together. The silver cover, there's a little white leg and then there's a little dimple on the leg, and that's where the spring sits into this gap. Next, we're going to put the bigger spring in its place. That just sits on this bit inside the cover. And then we're going to slide the silver piece in. Lastly, the red piece goes in with this part sitting on top of the large spring that we've just put in. And then that just slides down and all into place. Now we need to remember to keep our fingers on the switch covers when we're putting it back together again. And then just before we get to the spine, we're lifting our fingers and pushing it all back in together. It all should click into place. And then we can put the screws in at the back. And that's your repair done. However, there's one last spring that sometimes escapes. So when you pulled the housing off earlier and everything went flying everywhere, you found another spring. And where does this go? This is likely to be for the bin release catch. Now this just sits in like so. I've made it look really easy on the video. It wasn't my 3rd attempt, I'll be honest. But yeah, I've got to make things look easy, haven't I? So yeah, it goes in, squeezing it with your fingers. I've found. I've tried pliers before and things, it just doesn't work out. So use your fingers, put the bottom of the spring in and then try and just sit it into that gap where it should be. And then that should just sit nicely and be spring loaded for when you're taking your bin off. And that is everything. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and let's look at some other Dyson videos here. I hope you find them helpful.